All right, TJ, you want to get started?
Absolutely. Hey,
And
everybody. My name is Tina, or TJ, as you may have noticed. Um, I'm one of the admissions representatives with RMCAD, Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design. And so, just a quick overview of who we are and what we're about. And then I'm going to hand it over to Abby because tonight that's really her show because we're here to talk about paying for school. Before we do that, just a real quick thing. RMCAD is the only art design school in Colorado, and that's really all that we do. It's art. They're all bachelor's degrees, and they're taught by real artists, real designers, real professionals in the industry. We bring that experience right into the classroom. So it's an opportunity to grow, build, and then create a pathway into the industry. That's what we do. So everything we do online, or excuse me, on campus can be done online, with the exception of for on campus. She's toggling back and forth. This is fun. On campus, fine arts. The Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts can only be done on campus. And with our online programs, the music production bachelor's degree is only offered online. Everything else can go either way. All right. So then what's the process? The first step, of course, submitting an application. But during that time, you also meet with an admissions representative like myself. We make sure that you're in the right program that's going to take you to where you want to go with your career goals. You learn about the curriculum, you learn about the various resources that are available for you on your journey, and you learn about all the support that's available to you, not only through the admissions process, but once you become a student at RMCAD. We walk you through the enrollment process, ordering your transcripts, making sure your FAFSA is done, setting that financial aid planning appointment, and completing a portfolio for scholarship opportunity. Before I hand it over to Abby to talk about how to pay for school, what I want to do is talk about how much is the tuition. It's $740 a credit hour. Your semester fees, $1,215 per semester, which includes your software, tech support, the library, the online library, all the resources on campus, all of the resources that are online. So if you are full-time, per semester, the tuition is $10,095, or per academic year, $20,190. If you elect to attend part-time, it's $56.55, or per academic year, $11,310. I would caution you on going part-time because it's going to take you a lot longer to complete school if you go part-time. Let's get that degree knocked out as quickly as you can so that you can get into the workforce quickly. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Abby. She's one of our financial aid officers with us, and I'll be around for questions afterward. Abby.
All right. So, hey guys, my name is Abby. I'm part of the financial aid team. I'm one of the financial aid advisors for all incoming students. So today we'll just kind of go over kind of a rough interview to financial aid. One thing with financial aid is it's different for every student. So every student has a different situation, different FAFSA results, different scholarships, loans. So there's no, one size fits all for financial aid. So we'll go over kind of like I said, a general overview, and then you'll meet with your admissions rep and eventually meet with a financial aid advisor, and they can kind of hone in on your specific situation, giving you a more specific picture of what this process is going to look like for you. So, all right, we'll start on this chart. So the first step in using financial aid is going to be completing a FAFSA. So FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. So every student that is going to college, regardless of what college they're attending, if they plan on using financial aid, the first step is going to be completing a FAFSA. It's a government application, so it's the same for every student. Now, in order to complete a FAFSA, the first step is going to be creating what's called your FSA ID. So Allison, if you want to jump to that next slide. So the FSA ID. So this is basically your login for your FAFSA. It's going to be a username and a password. So before you're able to complete a FAFSA, you have to create what's called this FSA ID. Honestly, the FSA ID takes like 5 minutes to create. It's super simple, and a lot of students actually end up doing it in high school. So if you're, brand new to this process, you will have to set one up. If you try to log in and it says that you've already created it, it's a super common thing because, like I said, a lot of high schools will have students kind of practice in this. All you have to do at that point is just reset your password, and then you'll be good to go. Now, depending on your age, your parent might also have to create an FSA ID to help you with your FAFSA. But again, as you're going through it, it'll basically let you know whether or not your parent has to do this. So now I can jump to the next one. So again, the FAFSA. So it stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. So the key word here is free. There is no credit card information required. You don't have to put down any sort of money. There are a lot of websites that you can pay to help you complete the FAFSA. I would caution you to stay away from those. If you ever need help completing the FAFSA, you can contact the FAFSA helpline directly, and it's a completely free service, and they'll walk you through any sort of questions you have and be able to look at your account. So again, no credit card information is needed for the FAFSA. Now, when you log onto the FAFSA site right now, there's actually 2 different FAFSAs that are available. And your admissions representative will kind of guide you with this too, but a lot of students don't know where to start. They don't know which FAFSA to complete. Honestly, at this point, I've just been telling students, just do both. It doesn't cause any harm. And once you do one, it pretty much auto fills the information to the other one. So if you're not sure which one to do right now, just do both of them. You can't go wrong. The FAFSA application itself honestly takes probably like 30 minutes to complete. Once you log in with your FSA ID, it's going to ask you some general questions about yourself, your household, where you live, if you filed taxes. So it'll pretty much walk you through the application. Again, try to set aside like 30 minutes to complete this. And some students will also need their parents' help on this. So, just kind of give mom and dad a heads up that, hey, I'm going to do my FAFSA and I might need your help to complete it. Now, you can always complete the FAFSA, and if you get to a part where you're not sure, you can always just save it right where you're at and then go back to it later. So it's not like you just have one time to do it. All right. Now, after you submit the FAFSA, once you've gone through the application, you've electronically signed it, and you've submitted it, our school and any other school that you've included on that FAFSA will typically take about 2 to 3 days before they receive the results. So if you as the student say, hey, I did my FAFSA today, I'll say, awesome, I'm going to check in a couple days and that FAFSA should be on file. Now, once your FAFSA is on file, we'll be able to see as the financial aid team what you qualify. Now, we're not the people that decide what you qualify for. We're just basically translating the results of your FAFSA directly to you. So we have no control over what FAFSA determines that you're eligible for. Now, the first thing that FAFSA is typically going to offer students are something called Stafford loans, which you'll see on this slide. Now, Stafford loans are the basic student loans that you hear about from the government. So every student that submits a FAFSA is pretty much going to qualify for these Stafford loans. Now, these loans are going to be completely optional. You do not have to accept any sort of student loans if you don't want to. It's completely up to you. But we'll go over that as your financial aid team. We'll say, hey, this is what you qualified for. This is what this loan is going to look like, and then leave it up to you to kind of make that final decision. Now, within the Stafford loan eligibility, there are two different types of Stafford loans that you can potentially be offered. You'll see on the slide it says subsidized and unsubsidized. Now, the main difference between these two loans that the government is going to offer you is going to be how the interest accrues. So subsidized loans are technically better because they are interest-free while you are attending school, meaning what you borrow in the beginning is what you're going to end up owing the government back at the end of your program. Now, the unsubsidized loan, that's the portion of your loan that will automatically begin to accrue interest as soon as you borrow it. So for now, that's kind of what I'll go over with them. Again, your financial aid advisor will go in a little bit more detail as to what these numbers are going to look like, but that's the general difference between subsidized and unsubsidized. It's all about how interest accrues. So then the next thing that FAFSA can potentially offer you, aside from the Stafford loans, is something called federal Pell Grant. So Pell Grant it's grant money. It's a scholarship. It's essentially free money that you do not have to repay. So whenever you fill out a FAFSA, the government is going to look at the FAFSA results and determine if they're going to award you any of this federal Pell Grant. Now, Pell Grant eligibility is based on a whole lot of things, including, income, your zip code, your college status, whether or not your parents went to college. So not everybody is automatically going to qualify for Pell Grant. So you'll fill out a FAFSA this year. We'll determine what your eligibility is, and that doesn't mean that that's going to be your eligibility throughout your entire program. Every year that you do a FAFSA, you'll get re-reviewed for Pell Grant eligibility. Now, Pell Grant is not enough to cover the full tuition. So, I guess just kind of put that in your back pocket. Of course, it's always great to qualify for Pell Grant, and it does make a huge difference, but it's not something that is going to fully cover the tuition. Pell Grant, one kind of kicker with it is that it is only students can only qualify if it's their first bachelor's degree. So if you're a returning student, you're trying to get a second bachelor's, you won't qualify for Pell Grant. Again, it's that first bachelor degree eligibility only. All right. So the next slide. So Tina talked about, this is what tuition and fees is. And then I talked about financial aid. So again, we're going to fill out a FAFSA. We're going to see what you're eligible for. And then at the end of that, we're going to kind of present to you, hey, this is what your remaining balance is for tuition after your FAFSA is applied. So that's what we'll go over. So once we know what that remaining balance is after your FAFSA is applied, we're going to go over all of the additional options that you have to cover the remaining balance. Sometimes FAFSA does cover everything when you look at both the Stafford loans and the Pell Grant. So sometimes you would be fully covered. Other times you will have a remaining balance, and that's when we'll look at some loan options. There's something called a Parent Plus loan. There's alternative private loans. We can look at what out-of-pocket payments would look like. And then we can also show you some scholarship options if you guys are interested in applying for scholarships. So the first thing to talk about is called a Parent Plus loan. Now, Parent Plus loans are only really applicable to students technically under the age of 24. So when you fill out a FAFSA, that's going to determine whether or not you're dependent or independent. So whether or not your parents' information is going to be needed on the FAFSA. So if you are a dependent student, meaning that you are required to put your parents' information on the FAFSA, then we'll talk to you and your parent about something called a Parent Plus loan. Now, the Parent Plus loan is a loan from the federal government that your parent would have to be the one to apply for. You as the student are not eligible to apply. It has to be done by your parent using your parent's FSA ID. This is an option that we talk about a lot with parents because even if they apply and they're approved, they don't have to borrow the loan if they don't want to. And if they're denied, it could potentially open up some additional funding options. So we always want to go over this with the parent. just so that they can kind of, lay out all the options for you. And your financial aid advisor will kind of review your eligibility, and they'll determine whether or not that conversation needs to happen with your parent about that Parent Plus loan. Now, the next option for covering tuition is private loans. So say after your FAFSA is applied, you still have a remaining balance that needs to be covered. And maybe you're not eligible for the Parent Plus loan. So the next thing we would present to you is a private student loan option. So you'll see on the screen the private loan lenders that we see students working with most frequently are going to be called Sallie Mae and College Avenue. Now, some of you may have heard about these names kind of thrown around, but these are private companies who offer student loans directly to students. So you as the student would be applying through either the Sallie Mae or the College Avenue website for whatever remaining balance that could be left over. Now, these loan lenders are going to be very heavily credit based, which means that they're going to look at your credit score in order to approve or deny you. Now, if you don't have the best credit, they will typically offer you the option to add a co-signer. Again, once you kind of work through the process and you're meeting with your financial aid advisor, they can go over in more detail these two loan options and what they think would be best for you. Now, the next option, so, let's just say, oh, there you go. Yeah. So let's just say you fill out the FAFSA, FAFSA gets applied, you have $1,000 left over that's not covered by FAFSA. So with that $1,000, we'll talk about those loan options with you, but then you'll also have the option to just do the out-of-pocket payments. We'll present all of the options to you, including what those payments would look like. But you don't have to do an additional loan if you don't want to. So each of those payments is going to be divided into monthly payments. So each semester is 4 months long. So whatever balance is remaining at the end of your semester, you can pretty much divide by 4 because there's 4 months in that semester. And again, we're doing monthly payments. If you decide to do this cash payment route, you can make the payments directly online. We'll send you a link to our payment portal, and you'll just kind of easily do it on there. And then you'll work with our student accounts office, and they'll make sure that you stay on that payment schedule. Now, the last thing kind of to talk about is scholarships. So, obviously all of you guys are in different kind of different portions of the enrollment process. Maybe some of you have already met with your admissions advisor and met with your financial aid team. But talking about scholarships, start applying. Doesn't matter where you are in the process. Even if you've already started classes and you want to, continue applying, I always encourage it because you never know when you can get approved. I always try to tell my students, after you start classes, maybe put in one scholarship application a month for the rest of your program. Because even in your senior year, you can get approved on something and get it applied towards your tuition. So don't think of it as, I can only apply in this small window before I start school. That's not true. Always apply. Now, on our website, we have a whole list of RMCAD applicable scholarships, so scholarships that you can apply directly through RMCAD that our school is offering. But also on that website, on the RMCAD website, there's a ton of external scholarships. So basically just a resource that we've put together to kind of throw out to you guys to, you guys can do your own research, even using Google. Googling what scholarships I can qualify for. There's thousands of websites. I will admit it can get a little frustrating kind of weeding through, but hopefully that resource that we've put on our website will help kind of narrow it down and make it a little bit easier for you guys. And again, your specific financial advisor, as well as your admissions representative, will review any sort of scholarship eligibility that you have. And we'll make sure that that's going to be applied to your tuition, and we'll show you how it's broken down. Is this me or Tina? I don't know. So What I'll do here, I just recommend that either you use your phone, take a picture of this on your phone, just in some important context if you don't already have them, or screenshot it. Um, Again, I know this was kind of, a quick overview, and financial aid can be a lot. But take it with a grain of salt, meet with your financial aid advisor, really get, the picture of what your situation looks like. And don't let anything freak you out right away until you have, actual conversations, and break it down what it's going to look like we can make this manageable for you guys. So I'll pass it back over to Tina now.
Okay, that works. Abby, thank you so much. I think the big takeaway here tonight, guys, is the fact that every individual is different. Your situation is going to be different. And until you know all the facts and meet with somebody who's more educated in this than myself, lean to financial aid, lean on that team. Get all your data before you make a final decision about which way you want to move. That's what we're here for. Your admissions reps are more on the academic side of things. Your financial aid team, of course, that's on the other side. It's almost like two rails on a train track. You've got to keep wheels on both sides in order to get where you're going, right? So, with that, what are your questions? Crickets. We answered all the questions that could ever be asked
I have
ever
one,
in the history.
if you don't mind.
Oh, good. Yay. Yes. Yes.
This is something I've been curious about. I know that the school has like a full year-round program with its terms.
Mhm.
I was curious about how that works with like summer and winter breaks and such. I remember hearing that there's like maybe a week or something like that, but I was really curious about that.
As far as the calendar is set up, you get a 1 week break at the end of the spring semester and the end of the summer semester. And then you get a 2 week break, which of course coincides over Christmas and New Year's.
Oh yeah, okay, thank you.
Yep. Is that it?
I have a
Um,
question,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
Well, since we do have it's a full year with spring, summer, fall all together is considered one academic year. Is that correct?
Abby, can you help answer that question as far as the academic year,
Yeah. Yeah, so this is
please?
a little bit confusing. So it's going to be an
Yeah.
academic year versus a calendar year. So an academic year at RMCAD technically compromises, or is that the word? I don't know.
Comprises.
Comprises. That's the word.
Yeah.
8 months. So it's going to be 2 semesters is considered an academic year. So technically, you'll be enrolled within a 12-month calendar year. You'll be enrolled in one academic year for 8 months, and then half of an academic year for the next 4 months.
Okay, so I guess my question then is when looking at financial aid, scholarships, Pell Grants, when they say you are allotted this amount for a year, what does that then look like with the summer portion? Does it only cover, fall and
Yeah,
spring?
no, totally understand.
Okay.
So you would be fully covered for the entire calendar year for the entire 12 months. FAFSA has a rule. It's called the 150% rule. So you would use 100% in your academic year, your 8 months, and then you would still be covered for those 4 months within the calendar year because of that FAFSA 150% rule. So to kind of make it simple, yes, I understand, I totally understand what you're saying if you're only enrolled for, the 8 month calendar or the 8 month academic year, but you will be able to use FAFSA all year round for your entire program.
Okay. I'm thinking, Pell Grant, they say you get $6,000. So you're saying that you get 6,000 for fall and spring, and then what, an additional three to cover the summer?
So the $6,000 must be specific to what you qualified for.
Right. I'm just saying theoretically,
yes.
if that was the amount.
Yep. So it would be $6,000 for your academic year, and then that would get split in half for that, like the last 4 months. So you would get $3,000 for that academic portion.
Perfect. All right, thank you.
That was a great question, Rachel. What other questions do you have? Oh, we've got hands. Great. Who was first?
I don't know, but it looks like Ileana unmuted. So Ileana,
Hello.
you
Okay.
can hop in there.
Ileana, you're first.
Just wondering when the art portfolio scholarships will be decided.
Yes, that's a good question. So the deadline for those okay, sorry. So there's there's two different scholarships. One is the artistic scholarship, and we award those throughout the calendar year. And those usually we have decisions about 2 weeks after your portfolio is submitted. And then there's also the other more heftier scholarships that require a portfolio for what is the word I'm looking for suggestion or for consideration. There we go. And those are the presidential and the Best of Colorado scholarships. The deadlines for those are February 1st, and then we usually make decisions by the end of February. And we announce those winners at the end of February. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Okay, Amani, what is your question? Oh,
Oh, did we lose him? He might have left.
I think they dropped off. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Emmanuel? Manuel?
Yeah. Um, I might have, I don't know if you said it, but I might have missed it. Do you know when like the deadline is to apply?
Well, that's a great question. So it depends really on when you want to start. But my answer is the sooner the better. Because again, this is all about getting data that's going to help you build an informed decision. So the sooner you submit an application, the sooner you get the data to help you make that informed decision. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. So like the sooner I apply, like the sooner I know.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And by the way, there is no application fee. Yay.
Yeah, I already I did like my application. I just haven't gotten the like all the FAFSA stuff filled out.
Okay. All right. If you haven't already, get us a copy of your transcript too, okay?
Yeah, I'm working on that now. I'm getting with my counselor.
Perfect. Okay. Otto, I think you're next.
I wanted to
I
add
met
on.
Otto. I met Otto in Dallas back in September. How are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. I ended up touring this around Thanksgiving. I ended up touring with
Cool.
the campus.
That's
But
great. Okay, what's your question?
I was wondering, it was related to the artistic aptitude scholarship question, but over the
Okay.
National Portfolio Day scholarship, when slash how would I apply for that?
Okay, so did you get the NPD scholarship?
No, I haven't like received anything towards it.
Okay. Let me do some digging when we're done, and I'll reach out to you directly because I need to dig, and we'll
All right.
find out. Okay? But I'll reach
All
out
right.
to you directly. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, Amani, welcome back. You had a question. Amani doesn't want to talk.
No,
Oh,
no, no,
there
no.
she is.
Can you hear me? Sorry, my
Yep.
microphone wasn't working.
All right, no worries.
So if you apply for scholarships that don't correlate with the school, could you put them into all the schools that you're looking for, or can you only put in for one and then
Ooh.
have to find a different one?
That's a good question, and the short answer is I don't know. Because the reason why is what you're talking about are external scholarships. And it depends on the terms of the scholarship, to be quite honest with you. Some of those external scholarships, Abby, correct me if I'm wrong, will pay directly to the school. Some of them go to the student to then give to the school. I think it really kind of depends on the terms of that actual entity that's providing that scholarship that you would have been awarded.
Okay.
And
So
there are all
you'll have
kinds of
to-
different things.
Yeah, like what Tina said, it just depends on whoever's offering the scholarship. Some of them, make you do what's it called? Like essays. Some of them have deadlines. Some of them only apply to certain types of schools. So those external scholarships, it's really kind of up to you guys as the students to do your own individual research to make sure, okay, this time that I'm putting in towards the scholarship, if I get it, can I even use it at, this school that I'm looking at? And some of them I have seen what you're talking about. When you're filling it out, you can basically kind of like list all of the schools that you're interested in, and they'll give you approval for, maybe one of those schools or all of them. But everyone is different.
Great question.
thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Emmy. Am I saying that right? Emmy?
Yep.
Hi guys, how you
What's your
doing? This
question?
is Emmy's dad.
Oh, okay. Hi.
So how you doing? I probably missed the first 10 minutes of the meeting, and when I came in, you were talking about after the program and talking about the few loans that we can get, but I didn't get any like federal student loan. I heard about the parents loan. I heard about the private loans, but I didn't get anything about the federal student loan. Is that, did I miss it, or it is available, or what? Thank you.
Yes. So I think you joined right after we had talked about it.
Okay.
So every student that fills out a FAFSA is going to be offered, X, Y, and Z from the federal government in terms of federal aid. And that can include both those federal Stafford loans that you're talking about, and it can also include potential Pell Grant. So every student's different. Based on the FAFSA results, we'll be able to see exactly what that student qualifies for. So if you haven't already, definitely make sure that the FAFSAs are completed, and then you can meet directly with a financial aid advisor to see exactly what Emmy qualifies for based on their FAFSA results.
Perfect. Yes, we did everything. We get back from them, and then we have to talk back to you guys to see.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Any other questions?
And if you're too shy to unmute and ask it, you can always type something in the chat if you'd like.
Yes.
But yeah, these are all great questions and relatively common questions. Okay, Gracie.
Ooh, Gracie.
Okay, so I'm looking on my FAFSA right now, and it says that one of my options is a federal work study, but I don't know if I would be eligible for that because I'm learning online and I'm out of the states. I'm in Nebraska, so I just didn't know if that was an option for me, the federal work study.
Yeah. So I'm actually pulling up your admissions rep is Katie. Is that correct? Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'll do is I will message you or I'll email you the contact it's basically our financial aid director. So any sort of work study questions, you're going to reach out directly to her. Her name is Tracy, and she'll see if there's any current opportunities, even though you are an online student.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
But Gracie, we do have like online student ambassadors that are part of that work study. So there might be some availability for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Is it Liani?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was wondering, is there any like hidden or like fees for certain like labs or anything that are not included in the primary tuition bill?
That's a great question. They say plan on about $100 to $150 on books and supplies per class.
Okay, and then I'm going for the interior designing program. Is there
Okay.
anything specific on that?
As far as have you met with your admissions representative yet?
Not yet. I've barely been doing my application since I'm still a senior.
Okay. All right. I would advise that you meet with your admissions representative because they will talk about what exactly is going to be needed as far if, especially if you're going to do this online, what type of computer you're going to need, the type of software that you're going to be using, and then they'll go more in depth with you on that. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions?
Don't be shy.
Okay. Well, the good news is we're still available to you guys even after tonight. So hopefully, Allison, can you put up that contact information page one more time, please?
Yes, give me a moment. Sorry.
Okay, it's all right.
Um, yeah. Sorry, lots of windows open.
I understand.
It's late. Except for it's not as late as where Tina and Abby are. So I guess I shouldn't complain.
Okay,
yeah.
so there's your contacts. So if you think of questions in the middle of the night, don't call us. Just send us an email.
I mean, you can call us in the middle of the night if
You
you want.
can call us in the middle of the night, but
I don't know
odds
anyone
are
who will answer.
we're probably not going to answer. So it might be more beneficial to send an email because we definitely want you to get your questions asked so that we get an opportunity to get them answered. So I tell my students, if you've got a question that comes up in the middle of the night, just send me an email. Okay. Well, Allison, do you have anything, or Abby, anything else you would like to add?
I don't have anything, except for thanks for being here, guys. And again, just kind of what Tina said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and let us know if you do have any questions, we're here for you.
For sure. And we look forward to having you all be a part of the RMCAD family in the coming days.
Thanks, guys.
And with that, have a good evening.
Thank you.